All right. We are here today with
Lolita Griffin.
Lolita Griffin, and today's show on the Unshackled, we just talking a little bit about her story and a little bit about where she came from, and just getting a little bit to know about her. So, Lolita, do you want to talk to us about yourself for a little bit?
Okay, well, so I was talking about John. You gotta ask me some questions.
Well, I'll say like begin with. Yeah, I'm gonna edit it. I'm not be like this, but yeah. So talk to us a little bit about like where you from, like where were you born and where'd you grow up at?
Oh goodness, I was born in Athens, Georgia, and my dad was in the military, so we ended up moving to Houston, Texas, and stayed in Little Rock, Arkansas, maybe like 7 years, and that's when the issues started. And I'm just the type of person I just tell it like it is. I was molested at a very early age, 3 years old, and it seemed like I was a victim very early. I couldn't understand why. I just kept getting molested over and over until like the age of maybe 11.
Mm-hmm. So throughout those years, from 3 to 11, you were being molested?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it started a cycle of alcohol use and drug abuse. I remember very clearly drinking my first beer when I was 5 years old, and graduated to marijuana when I was 9 years old. And by the time that I was 17 years old, actually 16, I graduated to powder cocaine. And then at 17, when I went to Brunswick Job Corps Center, I got sent away because I quit high school at 16. So by the time I got to Brunswick Job Corps Center, I started smoking crack cocaine. And from there, I moved to Atlanta Job Corps Center, had very low self-esteem. I really did have no self-love, no self-esteem, no nothing. I would always try to cover up my feelings. Not even really doing drugs or alcohol to feel good. Just I wanted to feel different. I just didn't want to feel the way that I felt. And through a lot of years of prostitution, drug abuse, domestic violence, living here and there, and like I said, really having no value. No, I didn't think that I mattered. I didn't think that my life mattered. I didn't think anybody cared. Certain people in my life had money, and I thought that because I was sick that they would take care of me, but it didn't quite turn out that way. So I was living in empty houses and like abandoned buildings, under bridges and things like that. There's a whole lot more to my story, but I can't tell you a whole 52-year story in this amount of time. But at the end of the day, I would say after 34 years, which is a long time, of drug abuse and alcoholism, I have today 10 months clean. I went through a rehab program, and I thank God every day for not trying to promote AA or NA, but I thank God for that program. It has me where I am today.
And for the people who don't know, what is NA or AA?
Oh, Alcoholics Anonymous program and Narcotics Anonymous program.
Okay. And what led you to those programs, though?
I went to the Harbor Light program at the Salvation Army.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I was in denial about my addiction. I relapsed so many times. Different detox centers, rehabs. I would always relapse, and I wondered why I was relapsing. I wasn't dealing with the trauma. The trauma is the main thing that kept me going back. And once I started dealing with the issues, that's what I think helped keep me sober.
Right.
Yeah.
So what were like, did you have any influences or like mother or father figures in your life around this time?
Well, my dad, I could say, has always been encouraging, but it really didn't do any good because he doesn't understand addiction. Yeah, so it was a struggle for me because my family wanted to help, but they just didn't know how, you know. And when I finally got into the Harbor Light program, I had a really well-rounded program, life skills and budgeting, finances, and things like that. We had 7 meetings a week, 90 meetings in 90 days, and that helped a lot. We had to study we call it the big book. It's the Alcoholics Anonymous book. And just admitting that I had a problem, the first step is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol or over our addiction, that our lives had become unmanageable. And just the first step is admitting you have a problem and having the desire to stop using or stop drinking. That's really the first step. So when I recognized that I really did have a problem and quit making excuses for myself, that's when I really started to heal. Because I can say that I had the support of my family all my life, but they, like I said, they didn't understand really what addiction was. Oh, you can stop if you want to, or all you gotta do is stop drinking, all you gotta do is stop smoking. You weren't raised like that, but they didn't understand all the trauma and all the like I said, the molestation, the rape, the domestic violence. I didn't know how to deal with this, so I just continued to use drugs to ease the pain.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was that last moment for you, or that last experience that solidified it and decided you weren't, this wasn't serving you anymore?
The day that my boyfriend, who was using at the time, gave me a concussion, broke my jaw. And this is all at the same time, spit in my face and try to put a cigarette out in my eye. Yeah, and I knew that if I continued to stay on the streets, that, I was going to have to deal with him. So my main focus was getting away from him and also, getting help that I needed. Yeah. Because through my years of using, my years of addiction, I now have a 4 millimeter brain aneurysm from uncontrolled blood pressure. I was smoking crack for so long. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did you meet that man, the guy who was such a negative influence in your life?
Just through being in the trap. Yeah, hanging out. Yeah, he sweet talked me, so yeah. Yeah, I know how it goes.
So for a lot of people on the outside, that world, that's a totally different reality than the person walking the streets every day. There's an underworld. Do you feel like that underworld is? I'm trying to put it in a way. Do you feel like that environment is? Easy to be? Is it easy to become into that world, or is it?
When you lose hope and you feel like your family has turned their back on you, well, for me, that became my new family. I actually call them my street family. Yeah. Even though in the back of my mind I knew they didn't mean me any good. They just wanted what I had or to use me for whatever I had. That's basically it. You become their so-called friend because it's so rough out there. And me being a female at the times that I didn't have a so-called boyfriend, they were like my protectors. You know, I stayed close to them so that, you know, another man couldn't come along and harm me. Like when I was asleep and stuff, we would all try to huddle together and sleep at night, even if it was under the bridge, you know.
Are you in contact with any of those people anymore?
I actually have one friend girl that I sometimes I go take her hygiene products, give her a couple of dollars, buy her something to eat, pack of cigarettes, stuff like that. Yeah.
So what do you say to anybody out there who's feeling like they're at their lowest point, they have nobody to turn to, and they're facing addiction or self-worth problem, you know what I mean? Like, what do you say to those people, being that you've experienced all these things?
Well, I can only speak for me. What worked for me was getting into contact with my higher power. You know, whatever they choose to be their higher power. I have my higher power. I choose to call God. It's what really brought me out, because I can honestly say that the last day I used, God actually spoke to me and told me to get up. I was just lying on the concrete. I just wanted to die because I knew that my boyfriend was going to come back and he was going to beat me again. And also I had come into contact with Mercy Care, and they're the ones that got me into the Harbor Light program. So, you know, just me deep down knowing that I didn't have to live like that. And I also knew, like, when I had a tent and had become comfortable living under a bridge in a tent, I knew that something definitely was not clicking. You know, I came to find out going to Mercy Care. I ended up with a psychiatrist and a therapist. I was diagnosed with B-Mark syndrome and PTSD, severe depression from all the abuse and the years of drug use. So
are you, these days, you know, in the present day, are you more so cognitive or aware of those things that you face, and are you staying, like, do you stay on top of it? Do you monitor your, you know, like, how are you as far as your awareness to your health now?
Well, actually, I'm taking the medications that I need to take as far as my blood pressure medication, and I do take psych meds as well, because I have an anxiety disorder from the PTSD. There was a time when people couldn't even get close to me. I would automatically put my guard up because I think everybody's trying to hurt me. So staying compliant with my medication has been a big factor in keeping me, like, my levels straight, because by the grace of God now I have a gainful employment. I have a job now, and I thought that I wouldn't be able to work anymore because I thought I was so damaged, and I had so many physical problems as well from being beat and snatched around. And, you know, I thank God that I'm still able to work. And it was a time I was having flashbacks a lot of being beat, of being molested. My ex, I was pregnant at one time. My ex kicked me in my stomach on purpose and killed my son. And I lived with that my son would be like 28 this year. I lived with that pain and, you know, the memory for a lot of years. And that's where a lot of the drug use came, the continuation of it. Because for any of the mothers out there, that have lost a child, even in vitro or living child, a child that they birthed. That's a hurting feeling, and I experimented with being completely transparent. I experimented with a lot of different drugs because I just couldn't find that certain one I thought I could keep using until I found one drug that would just take all the pain away or either kill myself in the process.
And like what drugs were those that you tried?
I tried crank, I tried meth, I even tried to shoot up, which I really didn't like. But I tried marijuana, I tried codeine, Tylenol, codeine. I tried speed, black beauties, I tried everything. Just, only thing I didn't try was heroin, but it probably would have been next. Yeah.
So, fast forwarding again to the present day, what are you, being that you've, like you said, experiment with all these drugs and things, and now that you're clean and you're not, what is your strength? What gets you through the day, or what, motivates you now to continue on your path?
Well, my spirituality, I think. My relationship with God. Because life is really good right now. And one prayer that I had was, God, always remind me of where you brought me. Days when I'm feeling down and I think, well, if I just do a little bit of something, nobody will know. But I have to remind myself that if I do a little bit of something, I'm going to end up right back where I was, because I have something in my DNA that does not allow me to stop. So if I open that door, it's over with for me. It's over.
Gotcha. Well, I really am out of questions. I really feel like you gave a great story. You gave us a lot of insight.
Can you ask one more question?
Yeah, sure.
I would like to know, what can she say to people who are listening, to families who have someone out there? What can, as a family member, what do we need to do? Because you touched on how we don't understand, you felt rejected. So as a family member, what is it that family members can do for their loved ones who are out there?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I would say for someone that is living in their addiction and having issues with their family, and the family not understanding, I think what worked for me at the end, towards the end of my road, just being open to explain to your family really what's going on. And even if you're rejected, don't so much try to not so much try to tell them what you're doing, because it's a mistake I made a lot. Well, I've been clean 3 months and I got a car now, I'm good to go, and I relapsed so many times after that, and I disappointed my family so many times. So you don't actually have to tell anybody, just show them. That's what worked for me. And I think for family members that don't understand, a little research might help, and maybe be a little bit more supportive and understanding. Because if you haven't suffered with drug abuse or alcoholism, you don't really understand. At least ask questions and see what they might be going through at that time.
That's good. I appreciate you talking to us, Lolita.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.